trying to find a way, out when you get into a rut. It's tough. It's tough. I mean, you have to overcome a lot of obstacles and then finish the game. And I was proud of the way our guys jumped back. I mean, what a strange sequence of events that was in the beginning of the game. And we handled it pretty well. We really did in terms of a team, and we stuck together, and everybody handled it, figured out what the problem was, and we made a lot of corrections, and we got a lot better, defensively in terms of stopping. The first half was, I think they had first half they may have had 120 yards rushing, and 80 of them were on one play. So, we felt good at halftime. Believing that our offense was working. Defensively, they had one big play and then another touchdown on a bad field position on a turnover. So, and in the second half, fairly evenly matched, but you go 5-6 interceptions, and you're not going to win many ball games. I mean, it's just the way it is. I mean, you don't have to look farther than just 6-3 in terms of turnovers, takeaways, and 6 interceptions. You look at that and you say, it's a problem. It's an issue that needs to be fixed. And we talked to the team after the game. We win or lose as a team. Leave it on the field. No one person gets to blame. So, despite the turnovers, we continue to try to come back. And but just put your defense in a strain, and then they made the one play at the end of the game to kind of put it out of reach. So, otherwise, I thought our defense hung in there. I thought our offense hung in there. I mean, I thought everybody, special teams wise, except for our kicker, was very solid, and our kicker is just having a tough time. He's a great kid, and you got to find a way out of it. He's just struggling, and the only point I can make, most important one I made to the team, was that be thankful that you have 100 other people to go through this with. That there'll be times in your life when you feel like you have to go through things alone, but not this. Whatever has been over the past weeks, we're going to handle it together, and we're going to stick together. And best thing is we got one more game to play, so we got to reload and do our best that game. Questions?
Coach, can you talk about the change when Columbia changed quarterbacks? Kind of how the game kind of shifted.
Yeah, I mean, I was shocked they weren't playing him earlier. I mean, he is a big, strong, physical, good runner. I mean, I even thought they might put him at tailback this game, because they've had some injuries at tailback. So, we were ready for it, but it's such a different game, and it's just a downhill attack with a big guy like that at quarterback. It's difficult. We're undersized up front, and both our starting defensive ends didn't play. They were out for the game. Matt McFarland and Ricky Ballou, neither of our starting defensive end played. So, we had a true freshman and a sophomore in there, and they did fine. But it's just it's an abrupt change when you get a guy like that with style, and he's a tough guy to defend. And I thought so. We reeled a little bit, but I thought we recovered enough until he got the one on us at the end.
You mentioned the 6 interceptions. I know Ganto had arm troubles early in the season. Is his arm completely healed?
I don't think so. I mean, Ben is just a wonderful kid, and there were a lot of plays out there. I mean, if I showed you the film, a few of the interceptions, I mean, there are guys wide open, and he's just struggling getting the ball to him. So he can't, in my mind, he can't be healthy. He's trying. It's a senior game. He wanted to play. So he's got a lot of guts, and he's a great young man, but, he's not healthy. Just not making the throws. The arm's not responding to where he's putting the ball, and that means he's got some problems.
Coach, judging on the size of the Columbia cornerbacks, were you especially trying to exploit that?
Yeah, I mean, we thought we had a chance to go deep on them, and we had some good shots. They played well. We made some plays. Brian Walters is just fantastic, and push come to shove, we had to make one more play, and we had balls were there, and Columbia made some plays, but we thought it was a place we could attack. I thought we made some plays with it. Would have liked to have one or two more.
You got down by 13 less than a minute in. What did you tell the guys to get back into it?
Take a deep breath, take a deep breath, one play at a time, and that's about it, because the rest of my time's on the sidelines figuring out what the heck happened to us, so we're on the board and going, you got to be in the moment. We're just thinking about, okay, how do we solve, I don't know if we're 13 down or 3, it doesn't matter. We're just fixing, what we had to do on defense, and we got it fixed. That's my major concern, is just to fix what had happened, and to make sure that those guys know that we're going to have, hey, we got an answer, we'll figure this out, here's what happened, here's how it went down, here's what you do, and we recovered from it.
For the seniors, how difficult is this one?
Oh, it's got to be a killer. It's got to be a killer. I feel terrible for them. I had my senior year. I had 86 here in front of 23,000 when we lost to Penn for the Ivy League championship. And that felt, like someone had died. So and we still had a great year, 8-2. So I can't imagine how it must feel for those guys, and my heart goes out to them. I only wish I could have done more to bring them, more wins. But I know we've done everything we can for them in terms of establishing a family, establishing alumni who care, and we're going to make sure we help them, get their place in the world, and they'll take something from it. Like I said, they'll take the fact that they'll be able to get up and fight for one more day. I don't think God makes mistakes, so I know there's a message here to be sent. We just got to make sure our players keep that belief in themselves, and keep that belief in their team, and know that the alumni support them, and the coaches support them, and our athletic director and everybody supports those kids and what they've done and what they've given us. We just want them to know that we love them, and hey, these things happen, and it's not going to keep us down. We're going to get back up.
You've been gone for 2 games. How did it feel to get back out there?
Felt great. Last road game, senior year. It was a great way to go out. Felt really good.
Did you feel, like you were inhibited by any injuries, or?
No, not really. I mean, it took maybe 1 or 2 plays just to knock the rust off in terms of getting the signals and stuff like that. But no, I just went out there and just tried to play, nothing about anything.
What was your injury?
Just my shoulder. There was just something wrong with my AC joint in my shoulder. Just got a little sprain.
Coach, did you feel like Millie was ready to go at the beginning of the game? And if so, can you explain the decision to start Sean?
Was he ready to go at the beginning of the game? He would have gone if we'd have told him he was gone. And the decision to start Sean was that Sean took most of the reps with the first group. I didn't think Millie was throwing as well as he had thrown to start the season. So we had planned to use him in a reserve role or change a tempo role this week, and that's the plan we stuck with. I don't know who's starting the quarterback next week, even if you ask me on Wednesday.
Augie, you had a
His name's August, born on July 31st.
You had a big game today. Can you just take us through that last interception, kind of like, what your feelings were before, during, after the play?
I mean, obviously it's a big down right there, and technically we have we're in 2-man, and I'm manned on the back, but he stayed in block. It was their fullback, so I have 1 or 2 options there: either try to rush and get into the quarterback, or drop off. And they had crossers all day running across the field, so I felt like I can drop and maybe help underneath on someone. And sure enough, quarterback kind of gave me one right in my hands to take. So after that, I would just hold on to the ball, try to get the end zone.
Austin, how did it feel to have Millie back in at quarterback? Have the offense kind of click after that?
I feel like Millie's the leader of our offense, obviously. So when he came into the huddle, I looked around the linemen. Everyone else got real lively in the huddle, so everyone was excited. He picked it up. He came in. He just played really well. He came in, just gave us that motivation and momentum we needed to put over the top.
Can you also talk about, defense had 6 interceptions today. What was the main, reason behind that? What were you guys doing that made that happen?
Well, our main emphasis, each and every week is basically do our job. I mean, when you think about it in the simplest kind of way, I think if we do our job individually, and we come together as a team defense. I think we're one of the better defenses in the league. And today, I mean, you're getting pressure up front with the D line, which helps linebackers help drop in coverage, and then in the back row, if you have the linebackers dropping in coverage and helping, takes a lot of stress off them, so they're running around making plays. And a lot of it's just when we get in our comfort zone and have fun, we can compete with anybody. So basically, keep it simple and do your job, and we're a solid defense, and I think we showed that today.
Coach, what you tell the team after the first 2 touchdowns? Boom, boom, right off the bat. What you tell them then, and then what you tell them at the half?
I told him that 1986, Daryl Thompson scored an 80-yard play against the University of the Pacific, and we thought the game was over, and Pacific beat us. That it was a 60-minute game, that we were going to have to go out and play for the full 60 minutes and don't think it's going to be easy. At halftime, I told him that we had to score 5 points more than Cornell scored in the second half. That we were going to have a 20-minute bus ride home because that's about how long it takes to get home when you win a football game. That it wasn't a winnable game, that we had to come out and win the game.
Coach, we talked a lot about the team playing 60 minutes of football. Do you think they played 60 minutes today?
Yeah, we had to play right down to the end. We're 5-3 in 59-minute games. And, if it was a 59-minute game and Cornell pulled it out, we would say we were 6-3 in 59-minute games. It's a 60-minute game. Got to play every snap. And our guys like to find ways to, make it hard on me on the sideline. So they do it on purpose, I think, sometimes. They played today. They played hard. And after they lost to Yale, they had a good feeling how it felt to play as hard as you could possibly play and lose. And then today they got a good feeling to play as hard as you could possibly play and win. And we turned the ball over, going in twice, going in 3 times. And it would have been easy to put your head down and say, here we go again. And they found a way to just say, because we talk every week about you got to overcome the obstacles, and they just kept overcoming the obstacles today.
Coach, I know Millie coming into the game really sparked the offense, but the defense shut out Cornell in the second half. Can you talk about their performance, especially in the second half?
Well, coaches got together at halftime and talked over the phone about what some of the calls should be against the different quarterbacks in there. Let me tell you about the guy calling plays for Cornell. The guy calling plays for Cornell is really good. He can stand success. He keeps calling the play till you stop it. He does a good job with it. And I told the players that last night, and I told the coaches that on Sunday when I started watching film, that you got to get these plays stopped when you're playing Cornell. The defense just went out there and rallied and played, and guys kept getting pressure. And I know that some of the DBs probably feel bad about fade balls and things like that, but a couple times we're in great position. We just don't come down with the football, and that happens. They just went out there and they rallied and understood that there's a good selfish too, and if you're good selfish and you do your job for the greater good of everybody else, and that's what Augie's talking about. Guys just focusing on doing their job and not worrying about trying to do somebody else's job. Get my job done first. And let me be selfish and do my job, and that'll be for the greater good for everybody. And they finished the game. The defensive coaches talked to them all week about finishing a football game, and they finished the football game today.
Coach, how did it feel to make a field goal and 2 extra points?
I didn't make any. I can't kick. Sometimes people say all he does is kick. Now, the flip side of that is when you're the kicker, you got to make the kicks. We'd have gone for 2-4 a lot, but I talked to Jason Piles during pregame, and I asked him if I put Perfetti in the game, would he make the kicks? And Piles told me, Coach, he'll make the kicks. I hadn't held for him all week, but he'll make the kicks if you put him out there. Piles been around a long time, and I trust him, so we put him out there, and he made the kicks.
How big of a boost do you think that was for the team? Obviously, we got
to ask them. I don't know.
How big was it?
It's definitely huge.
Turned around and saw +3 on the board. I was jumping, excited.
Millie, how did it feel to run that last touchdown and it's senior last road game?
It felt pretty good, especially after throwing that pick so close in the red zone. I was just trying to be smart with the ball and just put the game away. And to do that against last road game as a senior and all that, but yeah, it was really really great feeling to do that with all my friends on the team. It was a great feeling.
How hard was it to sit out on the sidelines for the past 2 weeks and have to watch the team play?
It's been rough. It's been really, really rough. This is something that we've, like our class in particular, being the first class recruited under Coach Wilson, we've had all these goals they want to accomplish this year, and we weren't able to accomplish a lot of them, but we try to just keep fighting to the end. So for me to have to sit out and watch all my teammates and my friends out there playing and fighting and to come up short like we did was really rough. But I just tried to be there emotionally, be there for him, and I was just waiting for an opportunity to get back in. So.
Coach, on the long touchdown run there at the end of the game, can you take us through that thought process with the kicker struggling 3rd and 10? Were you confident that you get the first down there?
You're talking about on the last touchdown run? Well, there was a lot of conversation, discussion about whether we were going to kick a field goal or not. Because if we get it blocked and they bring it back, you ran home on the bus saying we should have just went for it on 4th down. Coach Newguy picked the call. Coach Marino came down with something, and we talked about it. And Coach Newguy said, "Well, hey, what do you think about a little 12-13 Q? We hadn't hit him inside with the quarterback in a while." So Coach Newguy, we sent it in, and we blocked it up, and we even switched who the lead back was going to be just based on who we thought would give us a better opportunity to get a block on the linebacker. Had we not gotten the first down, we were going to kick the field goal. So just to make it so they couldn't come down, they'd have to score a touchdown to beat us or tie us.